Here's a build to try, the Stealth build. Payday 2 offers many heists that give the player the chance to complete the take without ever alerting the police. And in fact, a handful of jobs can only be accomplished quietly. In most circumstances, if a heist that begins in stealth ends up going loud, it's not the end of the world, as the job is still very much beatable. However, most players prefer to go into a heist with the intent of completing it entirely in stealth or entirely loud. As a result, it makes sense to have separate builds that are designed to only be used during stealth or loud. I've already made a video on the good build designed for taking heists loud. Now let's look at the stealth build, which will give you the most equipment, skills, and concealment I've found possible to have in a single build. Let's check out my skill points. In Mastermind under Controller, I get Basic Forced Friendship, Confident, and Stockholm Syndrome. These are designed to make controlling civilians in stealth a less daunting task. More cable ties allows for more hostages, and I can keep civilians that aren't tied up intimidated by shouting at them. Moving on to Enforcer under Tank, I get Basic Resilience and Transporter. This is just for the 50% further bag tossing range, which makes for faster loot transportation on certain heists. In Ammo Specialist, I grab Basic Scavenger and then Ace Portable Saw. It may come as a surprise to some players, but the saw is a very useful weapon in stealth. More on that later. In Technician under Engineer, I spend the minimum amount of points I can to get Aced Jack of all trades. I can't imagine playing a stealth heist without this skill nowadays. The ability to bring an extra body bag case or ammo bag for the saw is quite powerful. Under Breacher, I ace Hardware Expert, Drill Sergeant, Kickstarter, and more firepower. Quick, silent drills are a necessity, especially on jobs like Bank Heist, and more firepower allows me to quite effectively make use of sensor mines to keep a tab on guard locations. Moving on to Ghost under Shinobi, I ace literally everything, just get every single skill here. The tree is designed specifically for stealth, and every skill here is worth grabbing. Now all of a sudden I have upgraded lockpicking, body bag cases, Insider Man assets, camera looping, and fully upgraded ECM jammers. In Artful Dodger, I get Basic Duck and Cover, Parkour, and Inner Pockets. Movement speed perks are always a given, and Inner Pockets passively increases my concealment. Finally, under Silent Killer, I grab Basic Second Wind, and then ace Optical Illusions and the Professional. I'm already gonna be using silent weapons, so I might as well make them a bit better. For perks, I'll be using the Burglar perk deck from the Clover character pack. This is the stealth perk deck, making answering pagers, picking locks, and bagging corpses all faster. If you don't own the Clover DLC, there isn't a lot else that will work for this build. Your best bet is Rogue, just for a dodge increase in case you go loud and have to book it to the escape. For my weapons, this will be a bit interesting. If you own the Gauge Shotgun pack, then I'd recommend your primary be the Raven Shotgun modded as such. Buckshot ammo, the Short Barrel, the Silent Killer Suppressor, a Team Boost, and the Flip-Up Sight. Shotguns are very powerful in stealth as they allow you to launch your victims out of sight, away from cameras, guards, and civilians. If you don't own the Shotgun DLC, then I'd say you should bring a Car 4 modded as such, the Short Barrel, the Bigger the Better Suppressor, an Accuracy Boost, the Aftermarket Special Handguard, the Pro Grip, the Vintage Mag, the Folding Stock, and the Exotic Receiver. Depending on which DLC you own, there are better ways to make this weapon have higher concealment, damage, and accuracy, but the variation I provided uses no paid DLC whatsoever. Regardless of what primary you'll be taking for most stealth heists, you'll also want to grab yourself a saw, modded as such, a concealment boost, the silent motor, and the sharp blade. Voila! You have a somewhat concealed saw that is both extremely quiet and can open deposit boxes with a single tap. This makes it great to bring on the various bank jobs to quickly get all the extra loot available. For secondaries, there's a few options depending on what your primary is. If you're using the Raven Shotgun, then you'll want to pair it with a Deagle modded as such, the Champion Suppressor, a Team Boost, the Micro Laser, the Ergo Grip, and the Marksman Sight. Now you've got yourself a high damage weapon with perfect accuracy for quietly taking out targets at a distance. If you're bringing the Car 4 instead of the Raven, or really anything other than the Raven, your secondary weapon will be the Judge with Buckshot, the Silent Killer Suppressor, and a Team Boost. This is most players' go-to stealth weapon, and it's pretty clear why. With insanely high concealment, damage, and fire rate, this weapon can take out guards in an instant while also launching their corpses out of view. And finally, for guns, you'll want to have a maximum concealment secondary to pair with the saw anytime you decide to bring it. In this case, I'll be using the BERNETTI 9 modded like this: a standard issue suppressor, a +3 concealment boost, the Micro Laser, a grip of choice, the Marksman Sight, and the Elite Slide. This weapon may have fairly poor damage and accuracy, but at 34 concealment, it pairs excellently with the saw, giving the lowest possible detection risk with a saw equipped being 10. For melee, I'll be bringing the weapon butt to smash display cases quickly. And finally, for throwables, I'll bring the playing card guards just to avoid accidentally tossing a grenade and failing stealth. So, how does this build work? Well, it's a stealth build. You stealth with it. Sneak into the place, take things from the place, and escape the place. All this build does is give you all of the kit you could need in pretty much every circumstance. If you're stealthing bank heist, for instance, you can bring ECM jammers, an ammo bag, and a saw, and easily lock down the entire bank by yourself. On Shadow Raid, you could bring sensor mines to monitor guard movements, and a body bag case to clean up after yourself. The idea is to always be prepared. Be sure to think out your pre-planning. Maybe you don't need to bother placing a key card when you can simply open the security door with an ECM jammer, or place body bag cases when you can bring some of your own. If you're detected by a guard, you can shout at them straight away to dominate them on the spot, then use your shotgun to launch them out of view and quickly answer the pager. Bear in mind, due to ragdolls not being synced between clients, this trick will only work in single player, or if you're the host of the lobby. You can also answer multiple pagers in a row by yourself thanks to the burglar perk deck. Be sure to get every last piece of loot you can by lockpicking safes, opening ATMs, and sawing deposit boxes. Your payout will be a nice bit higher too thanks to team boosts and aced chameleon. This build will work on literally any difficulty. In fact, I would highly recommend using it on 1 down. While there is tighter security on higher difficulties, it's completely worth it for the huge increase to your payday. With everything said, if you want a build that gives you access to anything and everything you could need to bring in stealth, this is an excellent choice. Thanks for watching, and take it easy.